gentlemen, one round for the, I don't know what sort of championship of the world. In this corner, weighing 90 pounds from South Florida and Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, 90 pounds soaking wet, Craig Mish. And in this corner, weighing about 175, he looks like Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR driver, our senior writer from RotoExperts.com, Jake Ciely. And, guys, we have both of you here. Craig, this might be your worst nightmare because usually you like to talk about people behind their back and hope they don't show up. We've heard a lot from you. Now, we're going to let you talk one at a time, guys. Let's not try to talk over each other. But we've heard everything, all the accusations you've made towards Jake, okay, that he hasn't owned up to his bet. You came on the show and said, take the $50 and donate it to Big League Impact. So we're going to go with you one at a time. Jake Ciely, everybody's heard on this program, everything that Craig Mish has thrown out at you, that you honor your bet, that C.J. Anderson was the worst prediction in the history of fantasy football. We go to you first, Jake, to defend yourself and talk to Craig Mish here. Jake, it's all yours.
I don't need to defend myself too much. I do appreciate your 175. You're actually almost spot on. That's a very good guess on the weight there. So I want to commend you on that first. That's impressive. No, I'm in the middle of working and I see a million tweets coming my way yet again, and I figured I had to say something. I will say first off, there's a certain thing called being a gracious winner, and I don't think that we're seeing that at all here because all I get is slander on Twitter, on the radio, and I've never once said I wasn't going to pay up to the bet. I just assumed this is a league bet. We come back in March, we meet up, I give them the money in person. And yet we never discussed a pay date. We never discussed whether it was going to be in person, whether it was going to be via PayPal or whatever. And yet Craig comes out and says, I'm jockeying his bet. I'm, going away. And he's calling me a cheater, a liar, or whatever you want to say. And all these people on Twitter are saying, I'm not going to pay, which has never happened. You can't just all of a sudden just start throwing out and saying, oh, he's not paying me. He needs to man up, when we were just never discussed a date and it was going to be in person next year.
Craig, your turn.
First of all, the bet was $100, and it was confirmed by Jeff Mans, who Jake on Twitter said was, quote, too drunk to know what the bet was. But when you shake somebody's hand and you place a wager...
I don't think I've ever seen Jake get drunk, but go on.
He said Jeff, man.
No, not Jake. Jeff Mans. Yeah. Jeff Mans, Scott.
Okay.
Jeff Mans.
All right.
Regardless of what the...
Yeah.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Let me explain, since Jake doesn't know because he's never won any realistic, very good fantasy league before, as we know. What's important to point out here is that when you win in fantasy, you don't wait a year to get paid off your winnings. You pay when you lose. And there was no acknowledgement of me winning. Am I a gracious winner? Not when I don't get paid. No, I'm not going to be a gracious winner. So the point would be you lose. And as the loser, which Jake is, you contact the winner and say, hey, where do I send the money? How do I send the money? Do you want to wait till next year? And all those things certainly would have been on the table. But, Scott, it's October the 7th. The league ended September the 20th. So that's out the door at this point. I mean, you're talking about almost 3 weeks since this has ended. So the opportunity has come and gone for me. And at this point, I would just like to see it donated to a better cause than me, because there is no doubt there is a much better person to pay than me out there for sure. So as far as being a gracious winner, after you don't get paid or there's no acknowledgement, no, I'm not going to be a gracious winner. Sorry.
Okay. Now, here's what I propose. It sounds to me like there was a miscommunicate on your two guys' part. I hear both of you. I think we can easily solve this. Jake, Craig wants you to write a check for $50 to bigleagueimpact.org, which we all support. And once you do that, I think once you've paid, and once you've finally paid, Craig, I think he makes a donation to charity. But I think you got to drop this once he makes his payment, because then he's owned up to his bet.
If he doesn't want to pay the full amount, which is what was wagered, then I will donate the remainder of the amount myself to Big League Impact to make good on what the wager should have been.
Stop trying to make me sound bad again. You're right. I could definitely give money to better people because there are 1,000 million better people than you are at this point. Because again, you want to just make it 1,000? Why don't you make it 10,000? Why don't you just make up a number? You said 100. Again, you didn't hear me. I just lost a business when we make the bet. Why would I bet $100? I said
all
sure
right.
50.
Jake,
you didn't hear
Jake,
it.
What does that have
Jake,
to do with anything?
I think what we're losing sight of here, though, is that Craig Mish really doesn't hate you. Nothing like that. Craig, I think Jake needs to understand that we're all doing this in fun here.
You talking to me?
Yeah. I think you need to let Jake know that we're just having fun with this here. That
it's about fun, but fantasy football and what we're talking about on the air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week has become on this channel so much of stats and this and that, and we've lost sight of taking somebody, going against them, and talking smack and winning, which is what I did to Jake every single second of this year, with no denial whatsoever. Because when you go against somebody and you shake their hand and you bet someone, then yeah, when you win, you expect the acknowledgement. There was none. There was excuses. There was, you must really need the money. You must really need the money.
Okay.
I mean, please.
This is what we're going to do. We'll leave it here. Craig, he's going to write the check to Big League Impact, and no more.
And he'll continue spewing lies all over Twitter and SiriusXM. It's cool.
No, what we're going to do here is you're going to write a check to Big League Impact, and Craig, you are going to honor the fact that he owned up to his bet, and we're all going to shake hands and be friends.
Yeah, until I see that check on Twitter for $100 or whatever it's less, I'll just donate the rest. It's fine with me, whatever it is. Until that's the case, Scott, you're absolutely right. Once that I see that and I call Big League Impact and it's verified, I'm done. I'll never talk about this again. Until then, #fantasy fraud.
All right, Jake. Just write the check and this is all over with.
I don't even care about it being over with. It's about charity is fine. Yeah, help charity.
I think it's all a positive resolution for this. And at Tout Wars X next year, I want the two of you to give each other a big hug. All right? I don't want no more of this.
No, like I said, #fantasy bitch.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jake. All right. Thanks a lot, Craig. See what you started.
All right, guys. Have a great morning.
All right. Adam Ronis,
what?
Your comments on this whole charade this morning.
Look, you got to pay up your bets. That's the bottom line. So I wasn't there. I don't know what it was, but just pay up, and that's it. Look, I run a league. Sunday night, the season ended. I contacted people, send me your info, get the money out right away. There's no need for people to wait. So, again, I don't know the details of what went on. Well, I don't know the details of what went on. But when you do lose, you should acknowledge it and say, hey, congratulations, you won. I don't know if any of that happened. Again, I don't know all the details of the situation. But you should. You make a bet, it's competitive. There should be sportsmanship. Hey, congratulations, I lost. Here's the payment. That's it. There's no need for this to linger on. You got to acknowledge it if you lose,
Hey, it's another great battle among fantasy sports analysts. It's makes for good entertainment.
Yeah, no, it's definitely entertaining, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, we've had him on this show. It's like, I think you even had it with Mish. It's like I made Jeff Manns look bad about Russell Wilson. It's Greg Sussman made me look bad about Gary Barnidge. I think we got to remember it's all in fun.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's in fun with them seeing some of the statements there, but it certainly was a good battle. I'm glad. I'm upset we ran out of time.